Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Michael Ray Baker, Francis Wayne Beagle, Billy Michael Bedsworth, Ray Belton, Raymond Wellington Blandon, Donald Wayne Bourneman, William DeMar Boyd, James Francis Brennan, Jr., Larry Ishmael Briggs, Ernest Frank Briggs, Jr., Hubert F. Brinson, Lionel John Bryan, Jr., Robert Wayne Burns, Dennis Lee Butler, Winston Butler, Jr., Jose Kakep, John Ronald Carlock, Albert Morgan Carwithen, Robert Joseph Challoner, Norman Edward Colasanti, Sidney Homer Cooler, Freddie Ray Cox, Donald Martin Kramer, Michael Crowder, Guillermo de Leon, Jr., Reynaldo Luis Delgado, William James Desolate, Richard E. DeVore, Larry Arthur Diefenbach, William David Dowd, Robert Walter Doyle, Arthur James Earls, William James Elston, Carver Joseph English, Jr., Raymond R. Enyart, Jr., Gary Wayne Erickson, Samuel Fontel III, Lloyd Arthur Fetter, Terry Grant Fegley, David Dan Foster, Ralph Eugene Folks, Jr., Alton Lewis Gajan, Michael Galea, John Theodore Gallagher, Leo Allen George, Ronald Lee Jerry, William F. Gilmore, Jr., Howard Wayne Gibson, Eric Stewart Gold, George Great Gonzalez, Ronnie Paul Grayson, Dennis Clark Hamilton, Larry Owen Harden, John Hargett, Jr., James Cuthbert Hartney, Joseph Edward Hetzer, Jr., Carl Edward Hickson, Eddie Herman Holland, Gerald Robert Horrell, Patrick Hopsung Hu, Alvin Samuel Johnson, John Peter Johnson, Daniel Joseph Johnson, William F. Johnson,
Raymond Parker Jones, Horace Jones, Glenn Errol Kelly, Douglas Brian Kent, Max Dwayne Kersey, Jean Ray Kuntz, Florian Henry Cuss, LaFawn Winston Ladson, Larry Nesbitt Lamb, Robert Carl Lane, Cleo Larry Lavang, Donald Eugene Luder, James Jerome Lind, John Michael Lindner, Joseph Lucas Jr., Michael Orson Lund, John William Lynch III, Joel Michael McGrath, Mike A. Maxon, Kenneth Allen Mason, Raymond Dennis McLaughlin, Eugene Henry McKay III, Tom Andrew Metcalf, Jimmy Allen Miller, Roger C. Mitchell, Charles Thomas Moore, Bruce James Moran, Martin Walter Moreno, Rodney Eugene Morgan, Bobby Joe Mounts, Laverne Orrin Owens, Eugenio Ortiz, Harvey R. Parker, David L. Pearson, Carl Robert Peterson, Randall Edward Ramsden, Robert Wilfred Renaud, Larry Warren Robinson, Bobby Ray Rogers, Daniel Everett Rodriguez, Ronnie Vago Rogers, Gary Wesley Runk, Francis Paul Ryback, Herman Paul Sanchez, Richard Carl Schmidt, Sheldon D. Schultz, Kenneth Charles Scruton, Richard Earl Shaw, Robert Lee Simpkins Jr., Hubert Senegal Jr., Wallace Kingsley Siner, Raymond Lee Sipp, John Joseph Scalba, Thomas Joseph Scaverell, Joseph Smalls, Robert Jean Smoot, Frank Barth Smick, Robert Stephen Somebody, Gregory Hale Stansel, Clyde David Taylor, Damian Thomas Tomasco, Thomas Edward Townsley, Glenn Curtis Valenti, Juan Borja Valtierra, Dan Allen Vanneram, Larry Villanueva, Richard Oliver Williams, James D. Williamson, Fred Melvin Wren,